with me, baby. Rock with me, baby.
Just stay.
Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Yeah.
Listen now.
Do you love to suffer?
Do you love to suffer?
Are you comfortable with pain?
Are you comfortable with pain?
Try living in the flow.
Do you try living in the flow?
In the state of well-being.
In a state of well-being.
Don't you worry about tomorrow.
Don't you worry about tomorrow.
Just stay in the now.
Just stay in the now.
All is good if you can see it.
All is good if you can see
It
it.
all works out somehow.
It all works out somehow.
So if thoughts create our freedom, freedom.
Rock with me, baby. If thoughts create our freedom, let's say freedom. Rock with me, baby. Rock with me, yeah. Welcome to A Course in Miracles on Facebook Live. So glad to have you in the house. Because I want to have some sanity. Anybody in for some sanity? I love a little sanity. So listen.
Or do you lay awake at night?
Do you lay awake at
Do
night?
you believe in the power?
Do you believe in the power?
Cause you know it's your birthright.
Cause you know it's your birthright.
And in your moments of confusion,
And in your moments of confusion,
when you can't find the way,
when you cannot find the way,
there's an answer deep inside you.
there's an answer deep inside you
Put you back in harmony.
that will put you back in harmony.
So our thoughts create our freedom. Freedom.
Hey, can we get a little clap in here? Let's wake ourselves up a little bit. Yeah. Freedom. Let's have some fun. Rock with it. Can you rock it, Cheryl? Freedom. Are you ready for freedom? Rock with me, baby. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. I say, remember that you don't have to believe these ideas. You don't even have to accept these ideas. Some of these ideas you may actively resist and find hard to believe. But if you use them, you will see that the ideas are true. If you use it, if you want peace, I'm going to give you some clues today. It might not be something you expected to hear. It might not be what you believe. But all I ask is you tell yourself one simple thing. What I know may not be all there is to know. What I know may not be what all there is to know. What? What you say? What I know may not be all there is to know. Fancy that. Whoa, could it be possible that I don't know everything? I don't know. That doesn't sound true. I don't know. You know, what I try to do is fit reality into my perceptions of things. You know, you are wrong. I'm right. I just got to convince you you're wrong and I'm right. Everybody know that's the secret. If everybody was more like you, the world would be more like you. Well, that's exactly what you shooting for. It is. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, I'm Earl Purdy. I'm the facilitator of this Course in Miracles group. I want to welcome everybody on Facebook Live that are tuning in. And today I'm going to talk about the changes that you're going to go through as you continue to increase in your desire to be sane. The challenges that you may have when you say you're going to change your mind and look at things the way that you should look at them in order to have peace. I'm going to talk to you about special relationships. And so it's nice knowing all of you. This will probably be the last time I see most of the people in here. Whenever I want a clean sweep before the beginning of the year, I cover this. And then I get a chance to have a fresh start at the 1st of January because nothing, I repeat, nothing runs people more away from A Course in Miracles than what it teaches about special love relationships. Because it says ridiculous things, like you should have freedom in them. What the hell? that you should be able to be yourself, that you shouldn't, nobody should be trying to change you to be something that they want you to be in order to validate them. What? That my love should be inclusive, not exclusive. Oh, what? I'm not loving me. I'm trying to find at least one person that will. That's right. So I'm going to do a section called The Bridge to the Real World. It's on page 345 in the Foundation for Inner Peace version. I got a few loaner copies up here that you can follow along. I've done this 37 years, so I'm going to save you some time by doing this in a conversational way and sometimes substituting the Course in Miracles definitions for the word on the page so that I will be talking to you in more plain, ordinary language. When you're studying A Course in Miracles, remember that even though it's using Christian terminology, it's talking about universal spiritual themes. That's right. So it's not talking about probably your idea of Christianity that you learned in a fundamentalist teaching when you were growing up. This one doesn't have fear in it. That makes it very different. There's no condemnation, no judgment, so it's going to be more difficult for you. Nobody's telling you going to hell. Nobody's telling you that you're a sinner. So it might not be as enjoyable. Okay. It's saying that there are only two things. There's love and fear. That's the only thing that we experience all day, no matter what we think we are experiencing. We're just experiencing love or fear. That's it. You may call it anything else you want to call it. If you're not, you're either experiencing love or something else. That's it. See, this book is so ridiculously simple that it's going to be very challenging for you to hear. Because I'm not going to give you really deep, mind-bending concepts that's so hard to understand so that we'll never use them. I'm going to give you very simple ideas that you can use if you want to have peace of mind. Because when you have peace of mind, you can hear your own internal guidance. And my goal is to put you in touch with your own inner guidance. Is that okay? Yes. It's not about you following me. I don't want that. It's about you getting in touch with who you truly are and learning how to follow the spiritual divine guidance that's coming from within you to you by that which created you. Is that okay? Yes. And giving you ways to be able to hear that and do that. Yes. But the part of you that thinks otherwise is going to feel resistance.
Where are we again?
God is calling. Okay. All right. Love is calling. So I'm only talking about love and
fear.
Love and
fear.
No matter what, I'm only talking about love and fear. Okay, so when the Course talks about a special relationship, it's talking about a relationship that's special in the sense that if there's any fear or guilt in it, because if it has any fear or guilt or anger in it, it's called a special relationship because that relationship is unlike the love of God. I'll say it again. Whenever the Course says special relationship, since we're only talking about love or fear, then what is it talking about? Fear. Okay, and then it calls a relationship that is based on freedom and love and kindness and joy holy. Yeah. So a holy relationship is just a special relationship without the fear. Yeah. So the Course in Miracles is not anti-you having the love of your life.
That's right.
Okay, it's just trying to get you not to be crazy with them.
Yes.
Anybody here ever experienced crazy relationships?
Yes.
All right. Even you didn't raise your hand, I'll raise it for you. I know you had one. Okay. We're not gonna fall for that. We know a couple of you all got, restraining orders on you right now. You just don't want nobody in the room to know about it. You got to stay 100 feet away from some people. Okay. So this section is called The Bridge to the Real World. The real world is simply a word. If love and fear is the only thing we're talking about, then it's the bridge to the love world.
That's right.
Right? So it says, now, this is going to be pretty deep. The Course in Miracles starts right off by kicking your butt. All right, okay, here we go. The search for the special relationship is the sign that you equate yourself with your ego, which is your fearful self, and not with God. So the search for a special relationship is the sign that you equate yourself with fear and not with love. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I'm trying to search for a special relationship means I'm equating myself with the fearful part of myself instead of the loving part of myself, because a special relationship that you would go through any kind of fear or guilt in is a relationship that has value only to the part of you that believes that you should be in fear or guilt. So the part of me that believes it's fearful or guilty is looking for a relationship to feel fearful and guilty in. Even though it will say to me that I'm looking for the love of my life or the friendship of my life. All right? So you know that's true because all you have to do is pay attention to how many of your relationships turn out. To know that that's not a weird premise.
Right.
That you started out with the goal of love, and sometimes you end up in a situation that's very much full of conflict and fear.
Yes. That's right.
So the Course in Miracles says, to the fearful part of you, which it calls the false self, the you that's not really that loving you that you really are, he says, to the ego, unless a relationship has special value, it has no meaning. So the relationship that I have with you doesn't have any meaning to me unless you're special to me and I'm special to you. Other than that, you have no meaning to me. That's true, y'all. Yeah. You know that's true. Unless it's the person is special to you and you're special to them, we tend not to think about people who are not special to us. Then it says, to the ego, unless a relationship has special value, it has no meaning because the ego is the part of you that sees all love as special. So there's a part of me that thinks love is special. It's just given to some people and withheld from others. And it says, this cannot be natural. So what does that mean? It means that a relationship that only has meaning and love that only has meaning to one and not to all is unlike the way that our Creator loves us, because we count on our Creator loving all of us and loving all of us equally. Is that not true?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm counting on my Creator loving me as much as it loves you. That's the way love is when it's natural. When it's unnatural, I love you and I don't love you. And the Course says, for God created love as God created it to be. So that which created love as it created it to be and gave love as it is. So that means what? It means love has no meaning except as the Creator defined it. So the Creator is the one who defines what love is. You don't, I don't. That which created me defines me. I don't. You know, if I paint a painting, I'm the one that names it Earl on steroids. Right? It's my painting. I get a chance to define it. I get a chance to determine what it is for me. Right? So if you were created, something created you, something defines you, and you already have a purpose, you already have a function, whether you know it or not, because that which created you didn't create you for no reason at all. So therefore you have a function. When you are fulfilling that function, you know it because you feel what? Fulfillment, contentment. That's how you know when you're fulfilling your function, is by how you feel. So the Course in Miracles says to us, love then has no meaning except as the Creator defined it, and it's impossible to define love otherwise and then claim you know what it is. So I don't know what love is. Why is it that I know that I don't know what love is? Because I do not define love as a love that is inclusive of all equally.
Me neither.
I don't. And so love is, here's the definition, and this is the one that may not thrill you. Okay? You ready? Love is freedom. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Love is freedom. Freedom is love. 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 In my past, the main person I didn't want to give any freedom to was the person I claimed was the most special to me. I don't know about you, but I'm going to fess up. I'm going to confess. I have been in special relationships and relationships with people that I wanted to limit and restrict and control the behavior of the person I was in the relationship with. I wanted to know where they were, what they were doing, who they were with, what they said to them, and did they do the wild thing. I want to know what happened when you were out of my sight. I do not see love as freedom. I see love as control. I admit that. Am I alone?
No.
Fess up. Am I alone? No. Don't leave me hanging out here by myself and look at me like I'm talking about something strange. Okay? That's how I can feel innocent about confessing to you, is when you tell me I'm like you.
You are not alone.
Thank you. People will tell you the truth faster if they think they're like you than if they think you're different from them. A burglar is going to discuss the latest burglary with another burglar. He's not going to go downtown to the sheriff department and say, let me tell you about this burglar I did. Burglar, I want to get your opinion. You feel the most innocent with people who have the same virtues or vices you think you do. Yeah. You know, if you like to smoke weed, you enjoy it the most around other people that smoke weed.
That's right.
If you like to drink, you feel more comfortable around other people. If you like to study, you like to be around other people. You know that we feel the most innocent around people that we see as like ourselves, not people we see as different from ourselves, or we would have no racism problem in this country.
That's right.
That's right. We wouldn't even be here, right? If we thought we were the same human beings, by the way, then we would all join together. If some country attacked us right now, all Americans would unite, regardless of their race, creed, or color. Because then we would have a common purpose, and our common purpose would make us the same. So if you want to feel harmony with the person, all you need is a common purpose. That's right. So in my relationships, I have the goal of peace. Amen. And I only want to join with other people who have the goal of peace. Yeah. Now we have a common purpose, now we'll be the same.
That's right.
Okay, if was to meet somebody and I was going out with them and I told them that I was the kind of person that what was important to me was to undo the blocks to love in me and to be totally peaceful and take responsibility for my experience and to be kind, they said, that's weird, then I would not go out with them again.
Yeah. That's right.
I wouldn't try to hide how I am so that they won't think I'm weird. I'd be as weird as possible so I could get rid of them quickly. So I could be with somebody who likes me for who I am. So the Course in Miracles says love is freedom. So to look for freedom by placing yourself in a relationship that's basically bondage is to separate yourself from freedom. I say I want freedom. I get with you. You don't want to give me any freedom. See me as innocent. Then obviously I don't want freedom. And for the love of God, no longer seek for union in separation, nor look for freedom in bondage. I'm not going to be free in a relationship that I'm limited in who I am in. See the simplicity of these concepts. And that's what makes it difficult because it's too simple. What? Love is freedom. If you look for freedom by placing yourself in a relationship that you actually have no freedom, then you're really separating yourself from freedom. If you really want to experience the love of God, the true love, then you need to stop looking for it in a relationship or situations that you feel limited in. Right. Oh, that's too complicated. As you release, so will you be released. What? As I release you and give you freedom, then I will therefore give myself freedom because the jailer has to stay in the prison with the prisoner to watch the prisoner. So actually, the jailer is in prison all day just like the prisoner is. So anybody you want to imprison, you are imprisoning yourself with them. Breathe. Okay, the Course in Miracles class, people pass out because they stop breathing, and then about 15 minutes in, they till over. So I just want you to know you have to stop and breathe. And then some of you may find yourself getting strangely angry. You may experience as I talk, you start to feel a little anger, a little irritation, because you know I'm telling the truth. You know you've been pegged. You know there's a part of you that may be doing the very thing I'm talking about, that you are trying to imprison someone. That not somebody's trying to imprison you, but you know exactly who you're jealous. You know exactly where you're insecure. You know exactly where you're trying to control and manipulate other people for your happiness. You know, every one of us know as I talk. And that part of you will feel guilty when it hears me say this. And it will create contraction and make you want to separate and never come back. Okay? I'm just telling you. That's the way it works. Right. So the Course in Miracles says, so don't forget this. Don't forget what? As you release, you will be released. Don't put yourself in situations that you feel like you're in bondage. Understand that love is freedom. Understand that any love that's unlike the love of God isn't real love. And understand that real love is inclusive of all. Everybody got that?
Yep. Yep.
All right, they're too complex. All right. Then, and I'm going to open it up for questions and comments in a minute, but I'm going to drive you crazy because I'm going to keep bringing it back to what I'm talking about and not go off on a tangent, okay? Which is another thing the ego likes. Well, let me ask a question so I can take you off in a direction totally different from what you talked about. Let me ask you about this football game I was at yesterday. See, I ain't falling forward. So then the Course in Miracles says there's a way in which love asks for your help, which is the Holy Spirit. If you would have the help of love, there's a way that love needs your help. If you want the help of God, there's a way in which God needs your help. He says the holy instant, which is what? A healing, freeing instant. A loving instant. Remember, it's only love and fear. So when you hear the term holy instant, don't freak out. What does holy instant? What does holy mean? Loving. Okay? The loving instant is the Holy Spirit's love's most helpful aid in protecting you from the attraction to guilt, because the real lure in a special relationship is you're now feeling attracted to guilt. So now you're looking for a relationship that you can make yourself feel guilty in if you don't act the way the other person wants you to act. Okay. So when I want to feel guilty, I look for a relationship where I can constantly put myself in a situation where I'm having to feel guilty about how I express myself. Everybody follow that? Okay. Then it says, when you say you're attracted to the special relationship, the fearful relationship, it's an attraction of guilt. So when you're attracted to guilt is when you get really hungry for a relationship. Okay? And then the Course in Miracles says, you don't recognize that though. That's why people go, no, that's not the reason why I want to be in a relationship. What are you talking about? What it just says right here, you don't recognize this. What does I don't recognize this mean? It means I don't recognize this. I don't recognize what? That when I'm a fear-based person who feels insecure and don't truly love myself the way that I should, then I'm looking for relationships to make me feel guilty and to validate what I already feel about myself. So I say I need a relationship, what I'm really saying is I need some guilt. Okay, then the Course in Miracles, this is a Valentine's Day class. Okay, now, I'm going to do some Valentine's cards. Okay, and so the Course in Miracles says the closer you look at this, I love this, he says, you don't recognize this, why? Because you taught yourself that there's going to be some freedom you're going to find in it like you've never had before. And the closer you look at the special relationship, the more apparent it becomes that the special relationship fosters guilt. And the special relationship imprisons you. Now let's go back to what I said. What does special mean?
Fear-based.
Fear-based. What does holy mean?
Love-based.
Okay, so it's the same relationship with a different purpose. So don't let your ego say the Course in Miracles is anti-you having a one-on-one partnership relationship with somebody. It is anti-you suffering. Mm-hmm. So don't approach this, if I invite you, not to approach this as if it's out to get you, that it's the enemy, that what I'm saying is the enemy. No, what I'm saying is the friend. What I'm saying is the friend. You deserve love that you feel free to express who you really are. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so the Course in Miracles then says that the special relationship is totally, okay, before I hit that, that's going to really freak out. Okay, before I go there, I'd like to have a minute to make sure my getaway car is cranked up. Okay, now, any questions or comments about what I've already covered, please stay on topic. Yes.
I would just love to clarify, like, a special relationship can also mean like a mother-daughter.
It can be your relationship to anything. It's any fear-based relationship. Okay. It's any relationship to anything that you have conflict and you're not giving yourself peace.
Okay, so if I feel like I'm in conflict with my mom, then I can reread this with that lens rather than kind of the romantic.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Okay, because that's when the Course comes to life, when you apply it to specific situations and people. Like when I read it for myself, I go, love is freedom for you, Earl. Earl, to look for freedom by placing yourself in bondage is to separate yourself from it. For the love of God, Earl Purdy, no longer seek for union and separation, nor for freedom in bondage. Because, Earl, as you release, you will be released. And don't forget this, a love won't be able to find you, dude, and comfort you. See the difference? When you make it relevant to you, then you won't zone out. That's right. When you just listening like it's talking about somebody else and you're not applying it to yourself, it's easy to go unconscious. So it's different from me saying love is freedom and me saying your love is freedom for you. Yeah. That love is freedom for you. Love is and someone that's freeing you is someone that's freeing you from guilt. So when I say freedom, I'm not talking about freedom of the body. Because the body isn't free. Right. Look at your credit card. Okay, now, look at your bills. Every one of them, I bet you, are tied to something body related. Tell me any bill you got, and it's related to your body. Right. Or somebody else's. True. See, that's how you know it's the truth, because nobody can argue with that. I'm paying my rent. What? So I need my body to have somewhere to stay. I got a grocery bill. What am I feeding? My body. I go out to buy clothes. What am I buying it for? My body. What is it that I'm hoping that people want? My body. Why am I fixing it up? Why am I exercising? Well, I'll say it's because I want to be healthy, but it's also because I want to be attractive. Mm-hmm. I want to get my bait in order to catch a better fish.
Would intellect then be with the body too? Like if I'm buying books to learn, if I'm coming to this class to learn?
You're going to use your body to read the book to reach your mind. So still, everything is related to the body. The body is involved in some form of fashion. But to use your body to go beyond the body, to use your body to go toward love, to use your body to go toward freedom and abundance and joy is the correct use of your body. Your body is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. Your body is neutral. Your body is neutral. Your body is neutral. Some people like your body. Some people, your body is not their cup of tea. So you like your body. Some things in your body, maybe some you don't. Your body is totally neutral. So the body is never hoping that you go hiking. The body is never hoping that you go to a movie. The body is never hoping you have sex. The body is never hoping that you have your favorite meal. You are.
The me that's beyond my body.
Who you are is what's making the decision to have the food that is using the body to go get. So there's no need to put your body down and what you've ever done with your body, because your body never made a decision to do one thing you've ever done. So don't blame your body for any of your appetites, addictions, or anything else you have. Your body is not making you crave potatoes. You're craving potatoes and you're using your body to get them. And your body physically senses them so that you have the flavor you think you're having. Your body is your medium of communication in this plane. It's because you have a body that you're able to have this physical experience. So to condemn the thing that you're having this experience through is not very wise. Because then when you eat the potato, you're going to get a stomach ache because you're feeling guilty about eating potatoes.
Right.
You know, I've been really focusing on my diet and doing a lot of vegetarian, vegan stuff. But I'm not going to imprison myself. If I decide I want to eat something else, I'll eat something else. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to change one form of prison for another form of prison. I'm not going to choose one form of guilt. I used to feel guilty about, eating meat. Now I'm going to feel guilty about not eating meat. I'm still doing the same thing. I'm making myself feel guilty, so I'm not doing anything any different. It just looks like I am. So I still get the same results, some form of pain. I'm checking in with everybody. This making sense?
Oh, yes.
Okay, anybody else, right quick? Yes.
A couple of online. First of all, a good number of people raising their hand about having had their share or beyond of insane relationships.
Good,
So
I'm glad to see the people out of denial online.
Yes, and Demola came back and said, the way he deals with this is he's beginning to identify his special relationships and change the purpose of the relationship to one of healing by the Holy Spirit.
That's all you do. That's all changing a holy relationship, special relationship to a holy relationship is exchanging the goal for fear and pain, for having the goal of peace and love. It's not complex, but there's a way to do that. And it's opposite to the way we've been taught.
So not having to get rid of the relationship, just the purpose of it.
No, you don't have to get rid of the relationship. You just might have to get rid of the purpose you've been using it for. Which you can do with somebody that wants to do it.
Right.
I would advise you to do it with somebody that wants to do it. I would invite you to do it with somebody that won't. Don't fall for that little trick of, well, if I just change my mind, won't that be enough? Yeah, you could just change your mind and that could be enough. But that's a whole lot of work. You'll be the one forgiving all the time. You'll be the one overlooking all the time. You'll be the one that's always being requested to stay peaceful no matter what's happening. While the other person's doing whatever the heck they want to do, however they want to do it, because they haven't made the agreement to go for peace, and they'll still be blaming you, but they will be so happy to receive all the forgiveness and freedom that you want to give them. So they'll receive, oh yeah, you want to overlook everything I'm doing? That's great. You want to forgive me for what I'm doing? That's great. Wow, beautiful, wonderful. But I'm not educating myself. I'm not studying. I'm not reading. I'm not setting that goal. So therefore, don't expect me to do it. So don't be getting upset because I'm not forgiving you the way you've forgiven me. I didn't go into agreement to share that purpose of having the same relationship. I think you're weird. That's a cult. A black dude too? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, you can be in a relationship and you can forgive all day long. All day long. You can choose to see it another way. I'm not going to attack. And that's a beautiful thing to do. That's the right thing to do. But ask yourself, do you want the 100% responsibility for every aspect of that relationship to be on you? And that other person take no responsibility because they cute. Because they're really cute. They can make a good living. And they can take you to the Caribbean. It's like, all right. Take responsibility. If you stay in a relationship with a person that you know is not sharing your purpose, then don't give them a hard time. So don't you criticize, don't you judge them, and stop going off on them. That's your responsibility. You don't have to be in that relationship because love can come to you in the way you deserve it if you were not so afraid of lack that you think you have to stick into something that's not really satisfying you. And if you are, you're still innocent because you're learning a lesson in love that's going to help you one day. So you're still benefiting. Still for your benefit. They're bringing you closer to the day that you choose for love.
Uh-huh.
So they're doing you a big favor. So I'm not putting down those of you who know you're not going nowhere.
That's right.
You know, if I can talk to them blue in the face, you ain't going nowhere. So you need to look at it innocently. Don't beat yourself up about that. Okay? Okay? I wish I could see y'all's faces. I wish I could see y'all's faces. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'll start out like this. And then y'all go. It's like I'm halfway through the class, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I need some friendly faces. I need some friendly faces out there. I'm on your side. Okay, let's go further. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, was there anybody else before I go on? I want to... Yes, brother. As loud as you can do it so people can hear you online.
We usually do special relationship. We talk about it in forms of two people. So the relationship could be anything.
Yeah, we just said that a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Or whatever we have.
Yeah.
We have relationships with everything.
Yeah.
Everything that we perceive outside of ourselves.
Yes.
Every emotion we have.
Mm-hmm.
Every judgment we have.
Mm-hmm.
Every reaction we have are relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So relationships is beyond what we determine as two people, usually man and woman, is at the top of the list, or co-workers or whatever. And it goes on, family and...
It's anything that you put before your peace. A special relationship is anything you put before your peace. And we said that earlier. And so you're just reinforcing the Spirit wants us to hear that again. When you're talking about special relationships, first of all, substitute the word fear. We're talking about fear-based relationships. Because your past program is going to say, you're saying I cannot have a relationship that somebody is really special to me, and I'm really special to them, and we just all special to each other, and they put me before everybody, and I put them before everybody, and it's like, yeah, you can have that kind of relationship, but it's going to be rooted in fear. Mm-hmm. The fear of loss of it. You'll need to defend it. Looking at every woman that comes up, a man or whatever. I'm focusing on relationship between each other more than those other kind of relationships. Okay, we're going to grant that it includes everything. But y'all know what we give ourselves the greatest grief about is how we relate to each other. Yeah. So let's get real. I am talking about relationships. I'm not talking about necessarily romantic relationships, but I'm talking about our relationships with each other, especially. Mm-hmm. But I can have a special relationship with money. Mm-hmm. I can have a fear-based relationship with money called, it's going to be December 1st coming up. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. That's a special relationship with money. Yeah. A holy relationship with money would be, boop, 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 pay my bill, check paid, rent paid. Mm-hmm. That's a loving relationship. That's freedom. Yeah. So when we talk about freedom, we're talking about a peace-based reality. We're talking about a reality that you're not scared all the time. And all of us should be jumping up and down with the desire to have that kind of experience and watch the part of us that's so suspicious. Like I'm somehow going to lose if I have freedom. And I'm going to lose if you have freedom. So the Course in Miracles says the special relationship is totally meaningless without a body. If you didn't have a body, you wouldn't be worried about none of this. If you value the special relationship, you also value the body. I do. I value the body. I value the body a lot. So therefore, I do have relationships that I notice I have some fear in. What you value, you're going to keep. Oh, that's good to know. To keep something, all I have to do is value it. So what should I do? I should tell the people that I love and the people in my life that I feel close to, I value you, I appreciate you, I value you, I'm grateful for you, thank you for being in my life, thank you for what you did yesterday, thank you for that meal, thank you for that laugh, thank you for that good dance, thank you for that good time, thank you for that walk in the park. You should be like the most thanking being around. if you want to keep something. Don't worry about getting rid of somebody. Don't worry about letting something go. Don't appreciate it. It'll go.
That's right.
Just keep on criticizing it. Just keep on judging them. Just keep on seeing the flaws. Just keep on pointing out what needs to be different for you to be happy. I guarantee you, you won't keep them. All right? Then the Course in Miracles says the special relationship is what? It's a device for limiting yourself to a body and for limiting everybody else to their body. And so when I look at you as a body and I look at you as something I got to have to myself, then I look at you as this body, and so I think that's all you are.
Right.
You know, I want to separate you off from everybody else, so I've just made you your body. That's deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's deep. That's why I like to study this stuff. Even if you go, what the hell are you talking about? That's crazy. I don't understand. At least that's something different.
Yeah.
It's not your regular class, right? So the Course in Miracles says the special relationship is a device for limiting yourself to a body and for limiting your perception of others to their bodies. The great rays, which is what you are, it's not a singing group. The great rays of love would establish the total lack of value of the body, and it would disappear because its value wouldn't be lost. I'm more into you than into your body. I'm more into your mind than I am into your body. I'm more into your spirit. I'm more into your consciousness. I'm more into your purpose than I am into your body. It was a trip when I saw myself make that leap, where I'm much more interested in a woman or man's mind and their consciousness now than I am in their body. Mm-hmm. And it didn't used to always be that way. Right. I would say stuff like, I'm attracted to them because they got pretty eyes. You know, they got to be a blonde, they got to be a brunette, they got to be a certain race, they got to be a certain shape. That's me completely losing sight of who the person is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the Course in Miracles, don't feel guilty about this if you're doing it. Okay? Don't feel, because you are doing it. Right. So don't feel, we all are doing it. We've been taught to do it. Just turn on TV for 30 minutes and you're programmed to do it. It's all about how you look. It's all about how you look. It's all about how you look and all about what you have. It's all about how you look and all about what you have. It's all about how you to the ego mind, it's about the outer and not the inner. And if you sit up there and say there's not a part of you that's like that, you're in deep denial, and you're going to attract to you relationships that show you are. Mm-hmm. And you're going to go through pain, and you're going to wonder why you're going through pain. It's because you're in denial about your ego. You're in denial that there is a part of you that's been programmed by the world just like everybody else has. Mm-hmm. And that's not something to feel guilty about. How could it not be that way when that's all you've heard since the day you were born? Don't be that deep into denial to think that you now have transcended any belief that what a person has and what they look like is not important to you. It's not a sin, it's just an error. That's all. That's all. So anybody that's serious about getting past their pain, they're willing to hear what they need to hear to get past their pain, even if they don't like it. So nobody's asking us to like everything that we hear. We just are hearing the way out. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Course in Miracles says, because if you were really seeing the love in the person, if you were really seeing who that person is, then it says, for in seeing the great rays, the value of the body would disappear because its value would be lost, and so your whole investment in seeing the body would be withdrawn from it. I'm so into who you are that, yeah, your body is cool, that's wonderful, it's beautiful, but you know what's really blowing me away? Who you are. Mm-hmm. You know, because your body's not going to always look that way. It's stupid to put all of your emphasis on how your body looks to the exclusion of everything else. Taking care of your body is a show of love for your body. Taking care of your body is the love that you're showing for the instrument that you have to wake up to your spiritual identity. Mm-hmm. So nobody's saying, it's my body, and why should I take care of it? Because you are using it, and you just like saying, I'm not my car, why should I get my oil changed? Well, if you don't, that car gonna stop. You're gonna be stranded on the expressway at night. If you don't love your body and take care of it, it's gonna strain you somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's why you love your body. Mm-hmm. That's why the book is not anti-body. It's actually trying to make us more. I'm more conscious of my body now than I was when I thought it was everything. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I'm glad that a woman's body is not all that's necessary to draw my attention. I'm But you want to have a woman look at you weird, then be a man that is not their body that you're after sometimes. Even if they want to say no, they want to know you want it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I want to know I'm attractive. Even if I'm not going to do anything, I want to know that you've noticed me. You know, there's nothing to feel guilty about. We've been programmed to be that way. Well, that's why would we put so much attention into our body more than our own consciousness and spirit and mind? Because in this world, if you look good, you are good. All you have to do is look good. You think, I bet you most women killed by serial killers, the serial killer look really like a cool dude. He's not going to come up like, I'm the serial killer. He's going to look normal. How many dates have you had that look normal?
Looks normal, yeah.
They had 2 eyes, they had 2 hands, they had 2 legs, they had a car. And then you get to know them and you go, oh my God, how can I get out of here? Please, somebody help me. Then you got your friend supposed to call you with the fake phone call so you can get out of there. Y'all think we don't know that? We just happy they did it. We want to get away from you too. It was like a mutual need to ditch. He might have said, oh my God, I'm glad you pulled the friend called me and I got busy trick. Sometimes I'm so arrogant I couldn't conceive that the other person might want to ditch me. I'm the ditcher. Oh, it's getting to that Course in Miracles quiet. I like it. I like it when it gets to that cricket quiet. Screak-up, because everybody's thinking now. They're thinking. So the Course in Miracles then says to us, so that's when it talks about the value of being withdrawn from the body. It just means you're seeing something more valuable than it to look at and to move toward. It's not a put down of the body. It's saying, I want a woman or a man in my life that if I look, which I know I will 20 years from now, different than how I look now, they're not going to withdraw their love from me because I don't have the pecs I had at 30.
Right.
I'm glad that I'm going to that level of consciousness where people will love me regardless of how my body looks. That's smart to me. That's not something for me to get depressed about. It's really about how can I learn something that would allow me to love myself no matter how I look to me. Whether I'm 80 pounds or 800 pounds, I want to love me. I'm not going to say I'm not going to love me till I weigh 125 pounds. That's total ego.
Right.
You can go, I'd like to see what I look like at 125 pounds. I'm curious to see what I look like with these biceps. But it don't have nothing to do with how I feel about myself. Can I get some amen corner? Somebody give me some amen corner. Online on amen corner. Okay.
Amen.
All right, cool. Now, and everybody following me, you know I'm on this, I'm coming right out of the book.
That's right.
And then it says, you see the world you value. What do you see? The world you value. What do you see? The life you value. So what kind of life are you seeing? The life you value. Now, on this side of the bridge, what side of the bridge? The side of the bridge that I have fear, and I think I'm separate from everybody. He says, on this side of the bridge, you see what? A world of separate bodies. I do. It looks like I'm in a world where it looks like there are a lot of different bodies. Don't they look like that? Look around. Look like it, okay? Then it says, what are these separate bodies doing? Well, it says, these separate bodies are seeking to join each other. How? In separate unions. So what are they trying to do? Well, these separate bodies are trying to become one. How? By losing. What? I'm trying to become one with you by losing. Losing what? Me.
Myself.
Me. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna change for you. I'm not gonna be myself for you. I'm gonna try to alter who I am for you. I'm gonna try to be anything you think you need me to be. And so I want to join with you, so I'll get rid of me to be with you. I refuse to enter relationships that I can't enter.
Wow.
I used to have relationships that said, I won't exclude you, but I want to be with you. If you didn't have this quality, that quality, if you change this way and that way, Earl, then I will be in a loving relationship. So I went, oh, you want to have a relationship with me that I'm not in. That's what and I'm not going to do that anymore. I've done it before. Because I learned that you can never do enough. I don't care how many changes you make, it's never enough changes. I don't care what you do, they still got something else. Why? Because they're so insecure themselves. Yeah. So you'll never please them. You'll never please them.
Right.
Until they love themselves. And when they love themselves, they won't be asking you to change.
That's right.
That's the paradox of it. I love me so much. And I want to accept myself so much that I do it for other people. So I ask my friends, what can I do to support you in being who you are? I don't ask them what you need to change so I can like you. That doesn't mean I don't tell you what I don't like, because we're about transparency and openness. But it doesn't mean I'm requiring you to change for me to be happy. Just because I tell you what I'm experiencing with you that I'm making myself unhappy about. That doesn't mean you got to change. It just means that I'm going to prove if our relationship is real by sharing with you what's coming up for me and seeing if you can respond in a loving way. Then I know the relationship is real, and I can get past that fear because I can't lose the reality we have with each other. Does that make sense? Hold up, remind me. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'm not saying stuff it. I'm saying at least be in a relationship with someone who values peace enough that they want it for themselves enough not to attack you. See, I want peace so much I won't attack you. But if I hate me, I'm going to attack you so you can attack me. Because I hate me. So that's what, so when people go out and commit murder, they want to be murdered. The person that attacks somebody wants to be attacked. They're giving what they think they desire. That's why you have to watch that saying that says, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Make sure your perception of each other is right. Because if I hate myself and I do unto you, then I'm doing unto you what I want done to me, which is hurt. Yeah. So you better make sure that person wants to love themselves when they're trying to practice that axiom.
Well, I'm curious in the dynamic when I witness someone and I'm wanting them to change because I see their behavior really destructive.
That's if first of all, I would always ask the Holy Spirit, my higher self, what should I say? What should I do first? And if I hear nothing, then I am not going to say anything.
That's right.
Because I don't know that person's best. As a matter of fact, my judgment of destructive behavior is still my judgment of destructive behavior. That still doesn't mean, see, like I used to hear that stuff like, there's no such thing as negative. And I went, what? There's no such thing as negative. And I go, okay, what is negative? Negative is something that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Something didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I call that negative. But is that really negative? Just because something that you didn't have the kind of day you thought you were going to have. So you said, today was a lousy day. No, it was only lousy because it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Which doesn't necessarily mean that was a lousy day. It just means it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. So what is negative? Negative is things not going the way I think they should go. People not acting the way I think they should act. And so therefore, I can truly get rid of the idea of negative. Because negative isn't you not following my orders. Negative isn't you not giving me a piece of cake because I wanted a piece of cake. I don't know what's negative. Do I know that everything that's happening in the world is negative? No, I don't know that. I just know there are things that are happening in the world that seem like they're not the things I want to happen. So I can apply that to the world as much as I apply it to a person. My president isn't acting the way I would want my president to act. My friend is not acting the way. So is that negative, or is that just me not having things go the way I think they should go?
But isn't a destructive, to kind of just follow up, isn't a destructive pattern or destructive relationship that you're viewing and you're enmeshed in it and involved in it, and you want to remove yourself, not necessarily because you want them to change, but because you're feeling that does not bring you peace.
But that's totally in line with everything that I've been saying today. Is that if you're going to love yourself, you're going to choose for peace. And you're going to give that person an opportunity to join with you in peace. And you also are going to do the other thing that's really smart. You know what that is? Having a purpose that you both share. And then you agree that you're going to live up to that purpose. And you agree about how you're going to handle things when they come up between you. Right. So that's one of the reasons why I want to do these advanced mind training workshops and heart training workshops. Because I need more time than feeling like I'm running against the clock to make sure that everybody can get out of here to go about their day. You know, I need to experience for my own growth a bunch of folk that's saying, all right, let's do it, let's go for it. I'm ready to hear it, even if I don't like all of it. And I'm willing to invest some time into doing that together. Then we have more time for discussion, we have more time for questions, we have more time for new ideas to be shared. And so I'm excited to see what's going to happen in 2018 because I really, sincerely, at the bottom of my heart, I'm ready for another level of consciousness and another level of life. I'm past the point now that anybody has to convince me that it's my feelings and emotions that's creating my experience in my life. I don't need to hear that a million more times right now. Now I need to know what to do with that knowledge to get past my blocks. I'm not a person sitting up here still going, it's everybody else's fault, and tell me how it's everybody else's fault, and now you're a good teacher. Because I'm just the innocent victim of what everybody else has done to me since the day I was born. And then I use very extreme situations for examples so that I feel justified in staying the way that I am. So I'll bring up the most extreme thing that happened in my life that seemed like I was victimized by first, because that's going to convince me there's no need to try to move in a new direction. So it's a trick. As I talk, as you bring up in your mind the most extreme situations you can think of. That's a trick to keep you from using the ideas on much simpler, easier, smaller issues that you could use it on and start to build your peace up. Because I don't know about you, but my mind goes straight to, what about all the starving children in Africa? What about Hitler? What about the person that got murdered? You have to tell me that was negative? All of that is just tricks of the mind to keep you from hearing. You don't have to freak out because somebody takes your parking space. Start there. Like I was going to a dance last night, and the guy was blocking the parking lot to the parking place, and he was talking to some girls. And we were just waiting patiently for him to move on so that we could move. And he was just sitting there like we didn't even exist. And then so the driver in the car that I was with was flashing the lights to give him let him know, hey, what are you honking? Flashing the light, hey, brother, we need to move on. Didn't move. You could tell every time we asked him to move, he got more entrenched in not moving. But why? Because he's hopelessly insane and afraid and narcissistic and only cares about himself and nobody else in the world exists but him. So if I was a girl and I was talking to a dude that was doing that, I wouldn't go out with him.
Yes.
Because I know I'm dealing with a very selfish man who only thinks about himself and not about anybody else. But if you want to be special and he tells you how cute and how pretty you are and how he's going to be towards you more than anybody else, then my specialist will say, well, he's doing them like that, but he wouldn't do me like that because I'm special. See, that's how our ego gets us. You pay attention to how people treat the people around them if you want to know how they're going to treat you when you're no longer so special. Just watch. There's no reason for you to enter painful situations anymore because you can have the awareness to spot what's real before you even get in it. But without learning, without a divine teaching, without study, without reading, without meditating on the truth, you will fool yourself over and over and over and over and over and over again. And go, why's this happening to me again? Well, it's because you're doing the same thing again. No, it's not. It's a different person. No, it's not. It's a different person, but you are doing the same thing again.
Different body, same person.
Different body, same person. I always tell myself, I've only had one woman my whole life. I've been so monogamous you wouldn't believe it. She just takes different bodies. She changes bodies. So she'll be with me in one body until she can't anymore, and she's learned as much as she can from me, and I've learned as much as I can from her, and she jumps over into a new body so that the growth can continue. Sort of like potting a plant. There's a certain point that you have to take the plant out of the pot, and that pot might be that person.
That's right.
But if you're addicted to the pot, then you're going to stay with the pot even though the plant's dying.
That's right.
So what's more important, the pot or the plant? What's more important, the picture or the frame? It's the picture that's more important than the frame. It's your mind and heart that's more important than your bodies. And love will always come to you in the form you let it in. So let's say she doesn't want to give me love anymore. She doesn't want to give me love. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to receive any more love. It just means the love is going to come through the next person that it can come through to me. Unless I'm addicted to that body. Even though it's not showing me no love. Woo! 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 This is for you, Earl. How dare I teach what I need to learn?
And one of my favorite all-time movies, Charlie, the main character, asked his English teacher, why do we fall in love with people who don't really love us back? And the teacher said to him, he goes, Charlie, we receive the love that we think we deserve. And Perks of Being a Wallflower, one of my all-time favorites, is a fabulous movie. It's the best line in the movie.
See, that's why this section is so powerful. And because it's going to talk about the stages you go through when you're making this transition. That's why, so I'm not going to finish it today.
Right.
You know. But for those of you who would like to go through your transition with more peace, keep me in mind next week. Mm-hmm. And if it really is something that you went, okay, I really want to, I want to find out more about how I can do this. I'll be here teaching it next week. If you're really sincere about saying, I really want another way to look at it because I'm tired of my patterns, I'll be here sharing this next week. And if you use what I've already shared today, you would see a radical shift in all of your relationships. Just what Spirit said to us today could change all your relationships for the rest of your life if you never came to another class or never read another book. Okay? Because it's the truth. It's the truth. Like, I'm going to finish this paragraph. It says, you see the world you value. On this side of the bridge, the fear side, you see separate unions and people trying to become one by losing. Losing what? Themselves. When two individuals come together to become one, they're actually trying to decrease their magnitude. When two people try to come together to be one, they're actually trying to decrease their magnitude. What do you mean? Each person is denying their own power because they're seeking their power in the other person. And the Course says, so they are forming a relationship that excludes everybody else. For instance, I have 50 friends, 50 people that love me, 50 people that I have great connection with, right? Then I get with you. And then you say, Earl, you can't be with your friends or the people that love you anymore. You can only be with me. See, I just decreased my magnitude. I didn't increase my magnitude. I became one by losing with you.
That's right.
And he says, why is that? He says, well, because far more is left outside the union than would be taken in the union. I'm leaving more love outside of our relationship than the love I'm letting inside of our relationship. And then it says, actually, that's the same as saying I'm leaving God out. Because God is all that is. God is everything. So I'm leaving everything out. So I'm leaving God out. And he says, and I'm taking in nothing. Because any relationship that I'm leaving love out isn't offering me anything but fear. What? The fear I'm going to lose it all the time. The fear I'm going to lose the money. The fear I'm going to lose the person. The fear I'm going to lose the job. The fear I'm going to lose. The fear I'm going to lose. I'm excluding love, so I'm not taking anything in. And then the Course in Miracles says, if one such union, just one relationship, were made in perfect faith, then the universe would enter into the relationship. That if I entered one relationship really believing in love, really believing in the truth, really believing in oneness, really believing in my spiritual identity, really believing that you are beautiful and unlimited, then if I was in one relationship that was real, then it would not ask me to exclude other relationships that are real. So thank you for listening to this much, Holy Spirit. Woo! Encourage me. Thank you. Because you know I'm talking some scary stuff. Imagine if you were up here sharing this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank you. And if you feel slightly irritated, depressed, and you pretty much now want to commit suicide after my class, just realize that's your ego.
That's right.
That's your ego. That is your fearful self trying to feeling threatened by what it just heard, because your ego cannot survive, your fear cannot survive in the presence of the truth. And so that part of you, the Course says, will actually get depressed about hearing the truth. Okay, so let's do the financial expression of appreciation for those who'd like to do that. I really, really appreciate it as a full-time teacher. For those of you online, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation to support my teaching ministry, just go to earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy.com. And also, I'm available for one-on-one sessions that I help you remove the blocks that you are going through and give you ways to remove those blocks and show you what's being said. In the end, you have to allow yourself to remove those blocks. But you can also get a ton of support and assistance. And I also want to remind you, you don't have an original problem. You don't have an original problem. You're not the first person to have a relationship problem. You're not the first person to have a health problem. You're not the first person to have any kind of problem that you think you have. The answer to the problem has already been given. When I first read that in the course, I mean, what do you mean somebody my problems have already been solved? He said, yeah, if you already have the answer, but you're not using it, doesn't mean you don't have the answer and that the thing hasn't already been solved. If the question is, have you decided that your suffering is the way you solve your problems? And if you think your suffering is the way you solve your problems, then you're never going to hear the answer, because that would be contrary to your goal. If my goal is to suffer because I don't think I deserve love, because I've been taught I don't deserve love, then if I get an answer that is loving, I am not going to hear it.
Right.
I'm not, and I'm not going to do it, because it's contrary to what I've decided the solution is, which is my guilt, pain, and suffering. But it's the other way around, it's true too. If I've decided that love and peace and joy and freedom is what I deserve, I'm going to overlook what doesn't love me, what doesn't support me, what doesn't see. I'm not going to notice them or that. So I'll only see the people who appreciate me, and I'll only move toward the people who appreciate me, because my goal is appreciation. So once you make the decision about what you want to experience, then you have all of the support of the universe that helps you support that premise. So if I've decided to love Earl, then I'm going to see all the loving things that help Earl love Earl. And I'm not going to see all the people that don't like me, because I'm liking me. So somebody have to just make me aware that so-and-so don't like you. Oh, really? Okay. Now, where was I? That's what you do. Oh, okay. Oh, they don't like me. Oh, okay.
I'm liking me.
I'm liking me. I'm liking me. And the weird part about it, when you like you, everybody likes you. You know, but you can't say, I don't like me, will you help me like me? And then a person can join with you on helping you like you. That's cool too. It doesn't mean you have to have perfected love to have a loving relationship. It just means you need to join with somebody who wants to have one too, and who'd rather be happy than right, because y'all gonna be wrong a lot. So you got to be with somebody that's not gonna freak out to go, you know what? I made a mistake last night at the party. I made a mistake in the way I talked to you this morning. You got to be with somebody that's willing to go, I'd rather be right than have to be. I'd rather be happy than having to be right all the time. So those are little simple tests you can give to anybody in your life. You can't walk out of here today and say you don't know now what you should be looking for in a relationship that's true freedom and true love. Yes, you do. I just took an hour to give you many definite, concrete things you can do to have relationships with somebody that thinks you're juicy and sweet and you deserve it.
That's right.
Woohoo!
That's right.
That's right. Every one of you. I don't care what happened in your past. I don't care how you were raised. I don't care what you told yourself. That's a story. And there's a point on your spiritual path, you got to let your story go. Even though you love your story, and your story has been like your little teddy bear that you've been with your, when I'm born black in America, so I know I can't be happy because the man is always against me because of the color of my skin. Now, it might be true at some level with some people, but I don't have to keep that story. I can have the story, God is real. I am love. I'm not alone. I'm going to value people for their mind. I want to be with people that's peaceful. I'm going to love you beyond your body. I'm going to see you beyond your past. See, I can also decide to do that right now. It's easy like I could go, my father was an alcoholic, so therefore I can't have relationships. That's a story.
That's right.
That's a story. A story that you like, a story that you tell yourself, a story that serves a purpose, or you wouldn't keep it. So it's giving you something you really want. That's why you hold on to it. That doesn't mean the person is not going to be compassionate. Of course I'm going to be compassionate because I have my story too. And I know how my story has hurt me. So I know what you're going through with your story. But you are not your story. You're not your gender. You're not your race.
That's right.
You're not your sex. And most of all, you're not your hair.
Aw, man.
I know I went over the line. I was on the roll until I said you weren't your hair. Obviously, you see why I said that. And then that big secret as to why I go, you're not your hair. Okay, so I'm going to end this on a 2-minute chant for those who are willing to say the 2-minute chant with me. Those of you online on Facebook Live, thank you for being online. Thank you for sharing. Please like these videos. Please share these videos. It is so good when we spread the word out to everyone. And thank you for those of you who shared financially. Thank you those who didn't. Thank you. But remember, your world is going to give you what you give. Just don't forget that giving is always proof that you have. And when you believe you have, you have. You know, when you believe I believe I have love, so I give it as best I can. If I didn't think I had it, I couldn't give it. So the chant is, love is freedom. Does anybody willing to do that for 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Before you go out here and make some more guilt. Would you do it for 2 minutes? Okay. Okay, here you go. This is Reverend Yolanda, by the way, a good friend of mine who is an incredible Course in Miracles teacher that has a center in New York City. I want to know that I am free and freedom is innocent. Are you ready for freedom financially, spiritually, in relationship?
Are you in charge of your life?
Are you in charge of your life?
Do you make it your own?
Do you make it your own? Hear these words.
Follow your heart.
Do you follow your heart?
This moment is your home.
This moment is your home. You hear me now? All around you.
Let compassion fill your soul.
That compassion fill your soul.
All your sensations.
Feeling all your sensations.
We are free and we are whole.
We are free and we are hard. Here we go. Love is freedom. 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 Oh yeah.
Do you love to suffer?
Do you love to suffer?
Are you comfortable with pain?
Are you comfortable with pain?
Try living in the flow.
Well, I'm living in the flow.
In the state of well.
In the state of well-being.
Don't you worry about tomorrow.
Don't you worry about tomorrow.
Just stay in the now.
Just stay in the now. Anybody twerk at your seat? Twerk at your seat.
It all works out somehow.
Yeah.
So it's all free.
I'm freedom. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Those on Facebook Live, I love you. Hey, next Sunday at 11 o'clock, I'll be doing the 11 o'clock service also. Yeah. One more time. Love is freedom. Love is freedom. Love is freedom. Freedom is love. Love is freedom. Freedom is love. Love is freedom. Freedom is love right now. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are blessings in my life. Hugs are available. Thank you. Woo. You deserve love.
I have an announcement.
And now